The Backrooms TCG is rife with dangerous entities, mysterious and powerful items, and strangely twisting passageways. One way to get to know the ins and outs of the mechanics and strategies is to build a deck yourself using cards found in the Lobby Levels set or the upcoming Car Park level set. In the Lobby Levels set, you'll find 103 cards that can be made into a seemingly limitless array of different decks. Through my 200 plays, I've constructed a lot of different decks, some created by the community and a good number crafted through my own trials and tribulations of deck construction. Some items and entities and rooms I seem to always find my way back to again and again, so I wanted to share which are my favorites. These are often very powerful or have multiple uses, or have awesome powers that will continue to help you out as you explore the backrooms. These aren't in any particular order, but they're all very useful and recommended. Items are kind of the cornerstone of any good deck. You want stuff that will hit hard or give you a huge advantage while playing. 5 items in particular I find almost always useful, and they do some good work. First is the mirror piece. This might be my favorite weapon item, honestly. It's extremely useful against larger entities, acting like a poison that slowly saps their health away. It requires a small sacrifice of 3 sanity, but within just a few action rounds, most entities will have brutally collapsed by this thing. Generally, you'll want to save this for the bigger guys with at least 4 or 5 health. It gets even better if you double it up with a second mirror piece, but it's at its very best when you have the Crimson Knight as your companion. Even with just 1 mirror piece and the Knight, you're dealing 4 damage each round. Nothing can stand up too long against that combination. 3 sanity is pretty negligible in the long run, so I'd recommend throwing a couple into any deck when you need to deal out some punching damage. It's also got a great design and coloring, feeling like some ancient relic found in a lost civilization. It's hard to find any deck that this wouldn't fit into besides perhaps like a passive run deck where combat is de-emphasized. Other than that, it finds its way into more decks than it doesn't. Being a red light item, it's easy enough to slip 2 of them in to guarantee some heavy hits. Next up, there's the excellent Master Goggles. This item is a powerhouse in decks with dark and bright halls. It is super helpful to navigate those tricky rooms, but perhaps the most powerful ability is the extra Painite gem flip. Normally you only get the 1 flip when you defeat an entity for its Painite, but with the goggles, you're swinging twice to land that gem. For whatever reason, the extra Painite flip has always really slipped my mind just too many times in the past, but it could actually mean the difference between getting that gem or not, so make sure to remember. The excellent art also makes it instantly recognizable within the laundry list of great items you can put into your Backrooms decks. Next is the Shock Shrooms. A great weapon that deals 3 damage without any sanity loss, and also stuns the engaged entity for a round, giving you just a little bit of a breather. This is essentially a better version of the Boom Shrooms, but with a built-in 1-turn paralysis which provides some excellent card advantage. In a card game like this, getting to hold on to more of your deck in hand to live longer and build it up is essential, and will allow you to explore more and find more crucial items and rooms. Plus they have a wicked cool design, and being greenlight rarity means you get to at least have a few in a deck if you choose. Next is the Cloak Coat. This is a great item for becoming Solid Snake for 2 rounds. Invisibility is a cool idea, and very useful when things are getting claustrophobic. Of course, you can't fool some entities like Dollface and the Hounds, but for everything else, you've basically got a cardboard box to jump into when you activate it, and being able to explore freely is a huge opportunity. Being a green light item, you can have 2 or 3 in a deck without feeling too weighed down. Finally, there's the Intrepid Flash Sphere, a really unique item that takes 3 forms in one. In your inventory, this item ruminates with possibilities. You can flashbang an enemy for a quick escape, smack them for 2 damage, or light your way down a dark hall. What's not to love? Having this item in your inventory can really mean the difference between being stuck or being able to move around and get stuff done. No other item can be used in so many ways, which makes the Flash Sphere one of the most versatile items in the game. With it in your possession, it can be adapted to help you survive a variety of situations. Entities are a very important part of any deck, as they're where all the combat and many of the interesting interactions come from in the Backrooms TCG. They have a range of powers and varying amounts of health and sanity effects, and some can even have passive effects that occur while out on the field of play, like the partygoers with their sanity loss, or blushers stealing a card each turn from your deck in hand. Here are a few staple entities that I love including. An entity that I've been fond of since I first got into the game, the Clocksmith is an incredible help when it comes to tutoring some of those precious items out of the pool pile. especially early in the game. As the weekly challenges have become more complex as time's gone on, I found myself putting him into more decks so I can always grab what I need if it's not already in my deck in hand. Losing 5 sanity can hurt, getting 2 items feels like it more than makes up for it. Clocksmith is a mysterious and unknowable entity. In-game, he's also an extremely reliable one. Of course, losing a quarter of your full sanity in one go isn't anything to scoff at, but there's no better feeling than scooping up those 2 crucial items you were looking for in a single encounter. This is especially true early in the game, where gathering the resources for combat is an essential stepping stone to successfully getting a Painite gem. Another entity I've really come to appreciate is Aiden, an intrepid character that provides a couple of very powerful effects and then goes on his merry way. The ability to gain 5 sanity and send a troublesome entity to the bottom of the pool pile is huge, and he also acts as a lecture hall, giving you 4 cards from the pool pile. There's no understating how good Aiden is in pretty much any deck you can put him into. When is 4 cards, 5 sanity, and an entity cycle ever a bad thing? Never. So many times he's almost a given to include. He has cemented his place amongst the all-time great entities offered by the Lobby Level set, in my opinion. His presence in the coming Car Park set also can't be understated, as that's his home level, so his abilities and influence will be more powerful and visible than ever before. Probably the best companion entity in the game so far is the hulking Crimson Knight. He was once in alignment with a conductor, but those days are behind him, as he became disillusioned with his mission and abandoned his post. Now he's on your side. This guy is a buff and hulking powerhouse, dealing out 2 extra damage with every attack you make while he's your companion. He is a massive force that will let you tear through smaller entities in a single hit. Even larger entities will get wiped out in a few rounds. The 5 sanity gain is always welcome too, though it appears to be standard across all companion entities. If you're putting a companion into a deck, more often than not, you can't go wrong with this guy. Combine him with the mirror piece and you've got the tools to destroy any entity that comes your way looking for trouble. He's also got an incredible design, one of my favorites in the game. That red armor and that giant axe really make an impact. One of the key aspects to building any deck is the room selection. Of course, there are the regular rooms we all love, the hallways and the corners, even sometimes the dark and bright halls. But 2 rooms to me stand head and shoulders above the rest. Let me introduce you to the rooms you probably know very well, but never go out of style. The lecture hall was the original go-to for me, a powerhouse of design. This is a great room with very helpful stats. 4 cards from the pool pile when you visit one could mean a few extra turns from your deck in hand when encountering entities, and 2 sanity is always welcome in rooms like the Dead End and Destroyed Halls will hit you for like 3 to 6 sanity loss when moving into them. 2 navigation points also usually provide a couple of new options to look over for the next action round. Hallways are a close parallel to the lecture hall as well, but both rooms also drain the pool pile a lot more quickly than others. This can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on whether or not you're hoping to cycle the pool pile when you deck out. There's a lot to consider when it comes to the movement system, but there's no doubt that the lecture hall can create a dramatic shift in the field of play when you move into one. Finally, there's the incredible false wall. This room is perfect for unveiling more than half the map all at once. Sending entities away and gaining 5 sanity is also a real breath of fresh air, and you never know what you'll uncover when those 5 cards come out. It's practically a new no-clip round. This can be especially helpful when you are searching for a specific card for the challenges, and using it can really expedite your search, so I like to include one most of the time. These rooms are a reliable way to clear the field of play from entities and also change up more than half the map in a single action, and that's just huge. When 3 or 4 entities have cropped up around me and only 1 or 2 rooms are even open to do anything with, there's no room I'd rather see come out. Even just 1 false wall in a deck is like having a fire escape or a secret bathroom never too far away. It could save your life. I reached out to the Backrooms TCG community and got a few responses back as well, regarding this subject. The Red Tide said, "False wall is a great one. Can get you out of trouble at a cost and reset the field of play, whether that be for better or worse sometimes. Death Moth is definitely an all-around plus to have in the deck." Has Thrift commented, "Maybe not a staple per se, but I like including entities that have effects on the field of play. Blusher and Partygoer are menaces that force you to attack earlier than you may want. It provides another dynamic to combat. And not so much for gameplay, but Dollface will always be a staple for me. It's the first card that drew me into Backrooms in general. She has the perfect essence of creepy mystery and is very unique. She can really amplify the atmosphere of your deck." Freebie, an active player from the community, commented, "I love Happy Holidays. It lets you dig out the item or entity you need, or even the combo you're looking for. I'd also add the Parasitic Tennis Ball. It lets you take down powerful entities depending on the challenge you're going for and manage hand/sanity. But also if your pool pile is running low and your hand is growing too much and you don't want to deck out yet, you can reset the balance between pool pile and deck in hand. Rested Knight 42 had the most to say for staple cards. He posted a list and his reasoning behind the choices, so let's look at what he picked. The Conductors. You can fill red slots with them to make finding entities of scarcity easier. They can also be chained together to drive all the entities out of a deck, preparing for Happy Holidays to make use of recycling the discard pile. Happy Holidays. This card is perfect for defeat the entity type missions, as you get to grab an unfriendly and an item to vanquish it. So long as you keep your deck in hand small, you will have access to any cards you need. This makes it a perfect wild card in diverse decks. Also, when teamed with Comic Full Art Conductor, you can make an infinite combo for recycling items and entities. Throwing in a Moth's Nest can spice this up. I also think it's crucial to have a card in every deck that allows you to reach the Golden Stairs in the event of a portal landing opposite it. If you line things up, Happy Holidays can remove this portal and is the only card capable of sending it to the discard pile. Jara Bright. This card allows you to search out items. This is perfect for missions that require you to carry and use items that you wish to have only just enough copies of in a deck. It can also help you to find your Purple Plus items early game, which are items I tend to rely heavily on. Like the Conductor, they can also be chained together to drive all the items out of the deck, preparing for Happy Holidays to let you recycle the pivotal Purple Plus items. Conductor's Ticket. This is a great card for crowd control. Find a void, round up entities, and use the ticket to guarantee safe passage to the Golden Stairs, or at least until your next deck out. Dollface's Jack-o'-lantern. All around a great card. Its only downside is that it does not defeat entities, but it makes up for this in being a red light rarity that carries a wide range of uses. It supplies a good amount of sanity while also allowing any one threat to be removed, which can ease up movement. It really shines with Conductors as you can engage them for their deck spawn ability and then immediately shut down their encounter. Moth's Nest. In a deck where you limit flow to the discard pile, you can make a reliable recycler early game to end game. Maintaining just 2 cards at a time in the discard pile means you can reliably retrieve an item in there, or entity. When used with a second Moth's Nest, you can make a semi-infinite combo in which they can retrieve each other and re-enter the pool pile. Thanks to everyone who decided to contribute to this video topic. Really appreciate the time taking to answer these questions and relate your favorite ones to me. So, there's the list. A very helpful array of items, entities, and rooms. When building decks, it's safe to assume that at least a few of these will find their way into any given deck. What are your favorite staple cards? Throw them down in the comments and let's chat. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in seeing more Backrooms content, you can find more here on the Backrooms channel, or visit one of these other channels that make Backrooms TCG stuff. My channel is Noway Plays Stuff, and I have many playthroughs and challenge discussions, as well as plenty of unboxings if you like to see that kind of stuff. And don't forget to check out the Discord where we're chatting up all aspects of the Backrooms TCG. Stay tuned and see you in the next video.